babes. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Candace Starr, and what I like to do for the last 9 years is help victims that have passed over get justice, whether it be through research, common sense, or paranormal investigating. I like to do it all. I'm connected to it all. So this morning, well, let me back up. This past week, this past week I have looked over the Rich Homie Quan released footage from the police of when the police got to the house, and I spiritually watched it with you guys and spiritually read what I was seeing and felt was happening, right? And I shared my thoughts and my opinions. All this is my own thoughts, opinions, and it's all alleged, okay? Until it's proven, okay? But what I just did today for the last 2 hours was I re-watched the beginning part, only up to 18 minutes, and it took me about 2 hours to do this, of Amber Williams speaking to the officer, and just a snippet of, I believe his name is Quick, the friend, and I wrote down the full transcript. Okay, well, guess what? While writing this full transcript of Amber, this is Amber's, just the beginning part, I found contradictions. I found lies, like lies, not just that whole part, because I didn't even get to that part where it talks about, we went over this in the first video I did, where she says he's cold to the touch. Well, I did get to that part, but not. I found lies. Like, let me explain. When somebody is telling the truth, there's nothing that you really have to like think about, right? Because it's the truth, right? It comes natural to you, so you don't have to like invent a story, right? But when you tell lies, you have to remember every lie you told, and you have to stick to a script. Okay? Well, I found a lie, a lie, a lie, a lie down here, okay? And I'm going to go through this with you. So, the video starts off at 11 minutes and 35 seconds, and that's when the officer gets to the house. Now, I noticed, and I just wrote it down, that the officers could not get into the house because nobody opened the gate. And it took a long time for somebody to come and open the gate. Meanwhile, there are 3 people, adults, that live there that could have opened that gate right away. Boom, right? But they didn't, not right away. So, at 13 minutes, the officer, I forgot his name, I didn't write it down, but the officer starts speaking to Amber. And the first thing I noticed is she's like, okay. Like when she's ready to start her story, right? She says, okay. And then there's this long pause. And there's a lot of run-on sentences, mumble jumble. So just bear with me because this is exactly how she said it, okay? There's a long pause. I came, well, he said, last he seen him here was 4 a.m. Okay, so that's important. The okay kind of threw me because it made me feel like she's getting ready to tell a story, not a fact, right? Again, just my opinions. I know he didn't come in, and then unaudible, so I couldn't tell what she says. Or, I'm sorry, I know he didn't come in, something was said, in or anything. I left to take my son, okay, my son, to school this morning, and he was laying on the couch, but I seen like mail all over the floor, like he had knocked over something, like he was trying to get somewhere to sit down. Well, let's just speak about that part, the mail all over the floor. What I noticed in the video was basically, you picked up the mail. You cleaned up the mail. You cleaned up the struggle, right? You cleaned up the struggle, but you left the whole plate of food on the counter. For hours. You didn't think, oh, let me close it, put it in the fridge for him. You didn't think, Let me throw this away. Ew, this is nasty. Because at this point, when you're taking your son to school, you have no red flags, right? Okay. Another question. Where's the drink that came with the meal? Where's the drink? Where's the cup of lean that his other baby mama mentioned to the father? Where's that cup? Where's the blunt that the father mentioned he was smoking with Dre? Where's that? Okay. So you cleaned up the struggle, but not the food, which is odd to me. Did you not feed your children breakfast? You know, the kids that usually go to school and get breakfast are the lower income. Obviously, they're not lower income. So they don't qualify for that morning breakfast. So where did the kids eat? What did the kids eat? Did you feed the kids? Okay, so let's keep going. Like he had knocked something over, like he was trying to get somewhere to sit down. I don't know. So, when I left, hold on, he was still away. She didn't say awake. She said he was still away. I checked on him, and I checked on him, she said it 2 times, and I put a blanket over him. I came back. So before she left, remember this, before she left, she checked on him, right? And she put a blanket over him. Then she says, I came back. So you left, you took the kids to school, and you came back, right? Remember that. I'm like, okay, he's still good. Red flag. Red flag. Why? Because at this point in time, you don't suspect anything's wrong. So why would you look at him and say, oh, he's still good? Like you're anticipating something to happen to him. Okay. Red flag. I left him there. He'll usually just get up and come in the room. So after that, I woke up around 11. And I come in here and I don't feel his pulse, his heart, or anything. Was he breathing? The officer says. He was breathing, but he was breathing hard. You just say you didn't feel a pulse. You didn't feel anything, right? I don't feel his pulse, his heart, or anything. Anything. Was he breathing? He was breathing, but he was breathing hard. So which one is it? Hold on. You don't think nothing of it? You didn't think nothing of it? No, I didn't. He was just asleep. You just said you didn't feel a heartbeat, you didn't feel a pulse, and you didn't think nothing of it. No, I didn't. He was just asleep. No, not that I know of. He asked if he had any medical problems. He's never been having, I'm sorry, he never been having to been on medication, hospital, or anything. And she keeps turning her back towards him like she wants to walk away from him. No. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't go nowhere. So he didn't go nowhere. Yeah. When I came, so she says that twice. When I came out the room, our room is right here. He was laying on the couch. When I took my son to school this morning, he was good. I came back and he was still good. I put a blanket over him. No, we didn't. He asked, did you talk to him? Did you talk to him? No, we didn't. We wouldn't. We didn't talk. We didn't. We wouldn't. We didn't. Okay. He was just asleep. So I left him there. I put a blanket over him. And I got up at 11. You just said, you took your son to school in the morning and he was good. I came back. We didn't talk. So I left him there and I put a blanket on him. So you're saying after that, first up here, it's saying, oh, let me find it. I checked on him, and I put a blanket over him. I came back. So first you're saying you put the blanket on him before you left. Now you're saying down here, I came back and he was still good. I put the blanket over him. Girl, how many times you gonna put the blanket on him? He ain't move. And not to mention, the story, hold on, is it here? Oh, please let it be here. Yes, it is. Okay, so we'll get into that in a moment. So you lied there, okay? You just said, I came back, and he was still good. I put a blanket over him. But up here, you said you put the blanket over him, and then you went to drop off your kid. So I left him there. I put the blanket over him, and I got up at 11. Second lie. You put the blanket over him, and you went back to bed, and then you got up at 11. Okay. I come in, I feel his face. It's cold. And that's how I knew he was breathing. She said this. I feel his face cold. And that's how I knew he was breathing. Word for word. This is her words. Because his earring was moving. Dumbest lie. I picked that out earlier, and we're going to get into it right now. When you breathe, my ear ain't moving. Too much information. Too much detail that don't make no sense. Okay? So you're saying he was breathing because his earring was moving, but you just said this was at 11 o'clock. He's supposed to be gone by now. Lie. Because his earring was moving, because his pulse. And then she realized what she said, and there's this long pause, and she's just looking stupid like that. He was foaming out the mouth. Yeah, I turned his face over, and I seen like foam. Did he take anything? No. Okay. So you're saying when you touched his face, he was cold. And he was breathing. He was breathing and his ear was moving up and down because you seen his earring, but you didn't see his eyes wide open rolled in the back of his head. These are lies. These are lies. What was he doing yesterday? He wasn't doing anything. Did he eat? Yeah, he ate yesterday. So I noticed besides the lies that we just captured, her voice changes. Yeah, no, yes, no. So it goes real high pitch and then it goes back to normal. And she shuts it on and off at will. Okay, I kept noticing how she kept turning her back and trying to walk away from the officer. Okay, I noticed there was no tears. There was rubbing of the eyes, but there was no actual tears. Okay, so now at 16 minutes and 20 seconds, the cop goes over to a friend. I think this is quick. I'm not 100% sure. He says, "Who is he to you?" "A friend. I've known him for a while. At least 5 or 6 years. Did he eat anything or order something?" "I have no idea. I didn't even know. I was," and he starts walking away from the cop. Where was I? Up in the room, but this girl called my name. I saw him on the couch right here, and she was on the phone with 911 telling us to start CPR. "No, I don't think so. His girl something," when they asked us he have any underlying conditions. "His girl something," it was inaudible. "Yes, 34. The cop says, "Hey, you shouldn't be looking at this," to Amber. At 17 minutes and 58 seconds, the cop says, I gotta call homicide." Okay. And the other copper says, "Huh?" And then the other cop says, "Oh yeah, facts. because it's probably something, but they ain't really saying nothing. Red flag. Okay. And then the cop says his eyes are opened. So this whole story of you could see his earring moving up and down, because ears move all the time up and down when people breathe. That didn't move, not at all. Okay. When people breathe, you looking at his earring, but you don't see his eyes like that. So let's go over these lies again, just real quick before we end this. I'm going to do this for every piece of information I find where they're speaking. Okay? So follow this. I'm going to make a playlist for you. Also, a lot of this was already said in my paranormal investigating. So, up here, she says she sees mail all over the place, but you didn't clean up that food. Why? It's almost as if you want them to see the food. Like, look, there it is. The food wasn't even touched. The fork was standing straight up in it. So you pick up mail, you clean up his struggle, right? But not old food. It's almost as if you wanted the police to see the food sitting there. Okay. So then she says, to get somewhere to sit down. I don't know. She also says, when I left, he was still away. I believe she was supposed to say awake, but she says away. And I listened to it multiple times. I checked on him, and I checked on him. I put a blanket over him. I came back. I'm like, okay, he's still good. If you didn't suspect anything being wrong, there should be no reason for you to say to yourself, okay, he's still good. None. Zero. It should be like, oh, he good. Yeah, okay. So let's go over that one. I checked on him, and I checked on him, and I put a blanket over him. I came back. I put the blanket over him. I came back. I put the blanket over him first. I came back second. Come down here. Here we go. I took my son to school this morning. He was good. I came back. Now we're over here. I came back. Remember, I put the blanket. I came back. I came back. And he was still good. I put the blanket over him. You messed up your script. See, when you're telling the truth, you don't really mess things up because it's the truth. You're just telling what happened. You're not making up a story to remember, you know. She confused it. I put the blanket over him. No, we didn't. We wouldn't. We didn't talk. What do you mean you wouldn't? He was just asleep. So I left him there. I put a blanket over him. Second time. She's saying after she came back, she put a blanket on him. But in the beginning, she said she put the blanket on him first. I got up at 11. I came in here. I feel his face cold. And that's how I knew he was breathing. He was, not wasn't. I listened to it over and over and over again. She said, I feel his face cold. So I'm thinking, okay, this is how she knows he's passed, you know. And that's how, although we know it takes 12 hours, typically 12 hours. So it could be like 8 to 12 hours for a body to become cold, okay? I feel his face cold. And that's how I knew he was breathing, because his earring was moving. Lady, were you high? For real, because you just said he was cold and you're explaining a body, but now you're saying you're going into too much detail where it's not necessary. Okay, you're giving stupid things like his earring was moving. Okay, I knew he was breathing because his earring was moving. Because his pulse. And then she, like, it clicks. Wait, what the hell did I just say? And there's this long pause. And the officer said he was foaming out the mouth. Yeah, I turned his face over and I seen like foam. So you're telling me you're watching his earring go up and down from a pulse, but you didn't see his eyes wide open and rolled back in his head. And he was breathing because, you know, the earring's moving. He's breathing at 11. Because I got up at 11. I come in here. I feel his face cold. And that's how I knew he was breathing. Because his earring was moving. Because his pulse. Long pause. Was he foaming at the mouth? Yes, I turned his face over and I seen like foam. Was he taking anything? No. What's your name? Amber. What was he doing yesterday? He wasn't doing anything. Yeah, he ate yesterday. Her words, not mine. Hers. Lie, lie, lie. Up here. Everything underlined. Red flags. Red flags. Even the cop says, I gotta call homicide. They not really saying anything. Oh. But they did. But they did. Got him. Got him. Okay, tell me your thoughts.